This is Laura Summer, the original Janine Melnitz on The Real Ghostbusters, and you're listening to the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Welcome back to Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Haunted by Tapes with the Frog Bros Podcast. Tonight's feature film is Train to Busan from 2016. This is a South Korean zombie horror flick. You can see this free on Tubi if you're interested. You want to treat yourself to a little zombie movie watchage.
Or Amazon.
Or Amazon as well.
If you want to watch it without
There's
commercials,
subs
right?
or
There's
dubs.
Commercials on Tubi, right?
I watched the dubbed version. That's what populated first when I was doing my search, and that was a mistake.
I watched the dub version also.
That took a lot of the enjoyment out of it for me. And I had the subtitles on anyway, because we always watch shit with subtitles. So it's just a thing we do now.
Yeah.
So, the voice acting just wasn't the best on the dub.
Yeah. It's whatever. I had heard a lot about this movie. Heard it's
Tired
really
boy.
good, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of the phase with modern zombie movies right now because I was underwhelmed.
Well, did you think
I
that
was
it was
bored through a lot of this. To
Did
be
you
honest
think it
with
was better than the average zombie movie though, or average modern zombie movie?
I haven't seen enough. I guess it was about on par with World War Z, which I thought was.
I liked it a lot. As I told you guys, I thought I heard that it was very gory and very graphic, but that wasn't the case. But otherwise, that was my only real complaint.
World War Z was a really fucking amazing book. The movie was trifling, boring garbage.
A Brad Pitt of garbage.
And they reshot the ending on it because that movie, but we're talking this other one here. I do like the intro, though. I like the setup, right? You just kind of see some guy leaving a zone, and they're basically spraying everything down, and basically, this guy's worried about his pigs getting killed in his car. And they're like, you don't do that. They have this whole argument about
pig
it.
zombies. Like the deer zombie.
The deer zombie was cool. I like that.
That was a good intro, and that got my attention, right? Because later on, this guy goes and hits a deer
That
when
deer
he's
has cataracts.
trying to fucking check his phone, which starts off great. I mean, it kind of started derailing after that, though, because they set this up to be so amazing. And I don't need a lot of story exposition in a zombie movie. Like, that alone would have been enough just to be like, okay, let's get right into something. But then they go and show you that this father's really trying to be a good dad, even though, he's having issues with his daughter. Daughter misses mom. They're
It is pretty
separated.
tropey.
It is, very, very much so. And that's really kind of where it started losing me, with some of that. And then the interesting piece that I really wish they would have talked about more was when they're talking about selling all those stocks and stuff. They set you up for maybe something cooler than that, like financial fraud or something.
You think financial fraud is cooler than zombies?
If it involves zombies, yeah.
You might be, you might be old.
No, I mean, I'm thinking there's a way to integrate that into the movie instead
Well,
of
then
just having it be a throwaway line.
Didn't it turn out like his company had something to do with the outbreak or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They work for that company.
So it was
Umbrella Corp may as well be.
enveloped.
Well, that's exactly what I was going with, right? They should have just made that more of like,
They should have had Wesker show up.
we know what you're trying to do. And I just think
Ada
on the
Wong, she's Korean, yeah.
And I don't know. There you go, talking again.
Resident Evil is Japanese.
Yeah. But Ada Wong's Korean.
And it's called Biohazard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Jesus.
But Americans don't know what biohazard means, so they changed it. That's how it usually goes.
Well,
The title Resident Evil still doesn't make much sense. Residents turn evil, I guess, is your implication there. But
It made more sense in the first one, I guess, because it was set entirely in a mansion. But
and
let's talk about Resident Evil.
They show how stupid the dad is here because he buys his daughter another Nintendo Wii and she's like,
dumb
already got
bastard
one. And
buys
like,
her a bunch of
She
shit.
already
doesn't
forgot
care for.
She
had a
points
Wii.
over to it, and he's like, "Oh, I wanted one for
this
the
is
living
for my
room."
bedroom.
That's what he should have said. Yeah, this one's for my room, so we can play
Like when
games
Homer,
together.
like
Yeah.
when Homer bought Marge a bowling ball. But it was really,
Do we look like
it
Simpsons?
was really
fans?
for him.
I haven't watched Simpsons since I was a kid, unless it's
That's
accidentally
about-
on.
I haven't watched The Simpsons
That's about
since
when that episode came
1962.
That's when it started.
Well, Don Lee is the actor's name. He's a badass. He's just punching zombies, throwing them up into the ceiling.
Yeah,
Badass.
there's some fun stuff.
Don Lee, yeah, he's great in that movie. He's my favorite.
Show me the pictures. Yes, that's
You don't know who the badass is?
I knew. I wanted to make sure we're talking about the same person.
Yeah, they did. They had an interesting mix of characters on there, but it never felt like overwhelming because it was on the train. I like the concept of it being small.
I thought the characterizations were above average for a horror movie, though.
If
That's
was,
what I mean. They're very, very tropey, though.
They're very
Well, definitely
tropey.
with the dad and daughter and stuff.
And
but
the
maybe it's
dubbed
not
version-
tropey in
The
Korea.
dub version really made it.
They watch
worse.
American movies.
Maybe
though,
that's
still
the first
trying.
movie to have this trope in Korea.
I highly doubt that. They established though there's a baseball team on the train though, which is interesting. They're kind of setting things up slowly.
They all have their bats on them.
Yeah, and a whole
I always
bag
thought
of-
that might be like stored away in the
It's a
storage
little
compartment
funny.
or something, but they took their bats with them.
Well, it's all there. Yeah, they're just traveling. So
They're like a street gang and the Warriors, man.
Like they're the Wild West, and they got like their revolver.
yeah. No, I thought that was good because this
It's lucky, yeah.
the one thing that worked for me in this movie is this wasn't a zombie movie filled with guns and just like doing fucking brain shots the entire
Trains
time.
work for you. You love trains.
No. The only kind of
Well,
train
I
can't
watched.
even talk about anymore.
I watched.
I like trains.
I watched this first, and then immediately watched Unbreakable, and it started on a train. I was like, "Fuck the trains."
We should get some
Yeah,
old
I'm never
train
going on a
video
train again.
tapes.
Yep. Just watch old VHS train tapes of like this type of train. This is a diesel. This is
Oh,
a
honey, you
coal-fired
see, there's
engine.
this train here.
You remember those? Remember those ads for those train tapes you could order?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
I want to get some zoo books too, because you could order those. I want to get a bunch of that old shit you could order.
Oh yeah, for sure. It needs to find somebody that actually ordered all that shit and hoarded it. See this crazy lady come jump on the train as they're trying to take off, and conveniently the guy, the ticket taker, doesn't notice her.
I do like the camera work where the camera's attached to the zombies and shit, and they're
Yeah,
running.
there's some things in this that I really enjoyed, but overall it was just kind of like it didn't feel very special. It didn't feel fresh.
I thought the zombie movements were kind of unique. They were all kind of.
There were some of those that was fun, but just the way they're so crowded on the train, it just really took away from the opportunity for that to look really cool.
It's also weird that I guess we're going out of order, maybe, but
I think we're just talking about
that the zombies can't see in low light.
That was something kind of fresh to it.
Hole up until it got dark out, and then
Right.
come out of the train.
Opposite of fucking vampires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you see that woman's bitten, and then they kind of throw you off by them going after her, and it's a homeless man in the train's bathroom, so they kind of throw that off, and then he turns out to be one of the longer-lasting characters.
There was an inconsistency between how quickly people changed, too.
Yeah, that was the other thing that bothered me, just kind of how fast some people went and others didn't.
But maybe some people have a higher resistance, maybe, I don't know. Or bigger people like our badass guy, maybe it takes
I mean, you
longer
could
for
easily explain that, like
him to change.
how bad was the bite? Was it multiple bites? You know, like yada yada yada. But
Yeah, because he only got one little bite on his hand,
yeah,
which I thought at the end the main guy was going to cut his hand off or something.
I prefer
something's
other
gonna
ways. I
happen.
don't like it if the virus just gets in you, you instantly turn into a monster. I think I
Yeah,
like
the
prefer
in-
like
the
Walking
instant
Dead
change
as far as
is-
modern stuff,
The instant change is
where
kind of crazy.
everybody kind of has the virus in that show, but
They don't change unless
if they die,
Yeah.
if they get bitten though, what kills them is the infection, and then they turn into a zombie. I like that because it takes them like however long the infection takes to kill them.
yeah, and then that makes more sense, right? And a
I
lot
just enjoy the classic zombie stuff more with slow moving zombies and stuff.
Yeah, these zombies are definitely fast.
I mean, I don't mind them being kind of fast and having jerky movements and stuff. That doesn't necessarily bother me. But what was off-putting about this was how fast some of them turned. And then, they established that you can't cut your hand off because that girl that had that bite on her leg, like, tried to put a tourniquet on her leg, but she was turning.
Just to clarify, 28 days later and
Weeks.
no,
Oh.
28 days later and
Weeks?
the Dawn of the Dead. Fucking asscock. The Dawn of the Dead remake both had fast zombies, and I liked those movies a lot. So it's not just the fast zombies. I'm just saying that is a thing that I just like better in general.
It makes the threat more realistic because if they really move that slowly, you think people could just get away. But
I like the slow better. I'm just saying.
Visually, but maybe realistically, it doesn't work as well.
But neither is realistic at all, so I think it's all horseshit.
It's hard to find a good balance in that, right? Because if you do them all too fast, then it's just a bunch of bullshit right away. So it has to be well calculated, and that just doesn't happen often enough. Did I have fun watching this movie? Off and on, right? I enjoyed some parts of it. It wasn't one of those things that was like, oh man, this is like a...
I got lost in the middle for a while and don't remember half
I thought
of
that
it.
little girl was going to get it after they got off the train at one point, but then that guy like elbows the zombie.
And then he gets his own ass bit.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I really liked...
that hand lower.
My favorite point, though, is like when the woman realizes that humanity's fucked and she sees her sister dies and she just lets the zombies into like the elite class that's kind of locked themselves in there. I really enjoyed that because she was like, fuck this.
But asshole survives that.
Yeah, which is an interesting take.
Which I didn't catch where he got bit, but I fucking hated that dude. I was like, when is this guy going to get it?
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking prick. And
that
then he
was
ends up
another
being like the zombie villain and
At
then
the
bites
end,
the
yeah.
main guy. I was like,
I thought
shit.
that worked out okay, too, because you didn't kill him off when you were expecting him to. So it was like, okay, I
They
didn't
made you
quite
hate
expect
him,
that turn.
and they dragged it out. I was like, fuck this guy.
He's an asshole the whole time, though.
Who's that guy? I'm going to write him a hate letter. Kim Wee-sun, fuck you.
And they did it. I guess the other thing was, they had so much train stuff on there getting through the train cars, but they knew they had to break it up.
His character's name is Jan Suck. That's accurate.
Okay, that's actually funny. I was going to criticize you for making fun of names that you don't understand for your culture, but that guy did suck as a character. Like, he's an asshole, and the movie did make me yawn. So, okay, fair enough. Touche, Nick.
Perfect description.
And all the survivors kind of randomly going through there. It never felt like any of them mattered, right? They had this whole group of survivors, and you never cared for any of them. Only your core group of characters.
Oh, you mean outside the core? Okay.
Yeah, so
there were like 3 characters I cared
I
about.
think that's usually
And
the
spoiler,
case.
one of them was not the little girl.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping the girl got it, but no.
I like gruesome shit like that in movies because it's like, you know what, that little girl is not going to last.
Well, at
No.
this point,
She was a liability.
Especially with the way that guy wasn't constantly protecting her and stuff. He was off doing all this shit. So when he's doing this shit,
Well, the thing is, they established that he's kind of a shitty fucking father even throughout this. Like, he has an opportunity to redeem himself, and he can barely fucking keep track of her.
I love how the badass keeps calling him like jerk and asshole and shit.
Oh, yeah, he's talking shit on the entire time because of him cutting him off at the last second, not almost letting him...
He kind of did the right thing. If you have to sacrifice 2 people to save the whole, you can't let all those zombies in waiting for those guys. But
Yeah, but still, there's that debate there.
so yeah, he's definitely going to be pissed at him.
I get it. I don't know. I just... I'd had higher expectations because I'd heard really great things about this movie. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you kind of got to see it. It's it's foreign
was happy
horror
with
film," and I'm like, "Okay." It just felt like it was more of the same. Really,
there's some
for me.
good Korean horror. And there's a bunch of new, like, Netflix has been making a bunch of foreign stuff now. Like Squid Game, that's one of those things that was made somewhere else, obviously.
Somewhere Asian.
But they have a lot of other... is Korean, isn't it?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
But they have a lot of... they're doing a lot of shows like that, like a lot of Korean and Japanese and...
Probably because they can pay them less. Netflix.
No, I think they're just trying to have a more diverse portfolio. of
Yeah,
different
because
stuff in
that's
there.
exclusive
Wow.
content for both over there and here. Because they can sub it, dub it, and we'll watch it too. But there's like a bunch of interesting ones. There's like one about people turning into monsters that sounds really interesting that I haven't watched out. It's a YouTube series though. Sounds like a fucking anime, but it's live action.
Oh, it's a YouTube series?
No, it's Netflix on my bad.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah, this movie, I mean, it's... If you love zombie movies, it's kind of an essential view just because that's your genre, right? That's your thing. For me, though, the hype it didn't live up to the hype of everyone saying, "Oh, this is great," And I get that there's a novelty of it. There's a few things it does that break the zombie genre, right? But it's still...
There's a sequel titled Peninsula.
To this? Really?
I have not seen it.
There's a little girl in it? And the pregnant woman?
Shit, I don't know. I just said I haven't seen it. And they're trying to do a fucking remake of this in America.
Probably. What are they going to call it?
Train to Detroit, I think, is what they're talking about, or some shit. Like, legit. Or to... I don't know.
Zombie train. That's what they'll call it.
That doesn't fucking work over here because we don't fucking carry trains like that. So what are you going to do, subway to Manhattan?
It'll be a really slow train over here.
Well, we don't have fucking jet trains. Or what do they call them, bullet trains?
Jet trains is better.
I like that, though. Sounds cooler. Feels like you'd have to have somebody like Tom Cruise being the pilot of one of those.
They call it zombie train. They're going to think it's like a porn in America.
Really? I don't think so.
No, I don't know where you come up with that
I
idea.
don't think
You much watch a lot of porn with train situations.
I don't think a lot of younger people know about trains, like the actual locomotive.
They still exist. They see them.
No,
Yes.
they don't.
How do you think we get all the coal to the power plants through the United States, Nick? And we got really boring really fast, but kind of like this movie.
No,
Hopefully,
I liked it. I liked it.
I'm not saying it's bad. Maybe I need another rewatch on it, but
if I
it's not my
rewatch
favorite
it,
movie.
I'm not eager to watch it again, but that's not.
if I
really
rewatch
a
it, I'm gonna watch
criticism. I'm gonna
just
watch
the
Peninsula.
subtitles. I'll call it that. Call it a day. Maybe it'll be better then. But
You're just gonna watch the subtitles.
In blackness, just the
Yes.
subtitles. He's going to read the script. That's all.
yeah, with sound effects.
Well, after he learns Korean.
We can read the script.
Nick acts all offended, like, oh, you're just gonna read the subtitles? Like, there are people that cannot see and there are people that cannot hear. You discriminatory
That's
prick.
not true of you in either case.
How do you know? I might just be pulling the wool over your eyes. I drive great. I act like I listen.
You're not fucking Daredevil.
No, I'm not.
Ben Affleck, Daredevil.
Not him either. Well, let us know if you've seen this flick and if you liked it or not. It's kind of one of my least favorite movies we reviewed for Haunted by Tapes. It's just kind of so in the middle of the pack and just doesn't stand out to me. Like, I'll forget this in a month and just...
A whole
Never come
month,
back
though.
to
That's
it.
not bad.
There you go. Yeah, he'll be dreaming about this movie tonight.
No.
Yeah,
He's going to be the little girl in the movie.
I only took notes through the first half of the movie because then
These
I
are
got
my notes.
so bored that I was like, yeah, this is my note section here, just this.
At one point I wrote,
I made
honestly, I'm bored. I don't know why, but I'm bored.
I made a note that he was eating Burger King in the office.
Well, that's it. That's Haunted by Tapes for this week, so...
Have it your way at Burger King. Thanks for sponsoring us, Burger King.
Burger King sponsored this episode.